if these employees end up executing well, they are amazing in the future, and even 6 months later, they keep saying that we need a marketing team. And you know what? I might flip my script. I might even admit that I'm the dumb one. I want to talk today about what makes a good employee. And the way I think about it is a good employee executes, works hard, and asks the right questions. And I want to give almost a counterpoint on what doesn't make a good employee. So here's an example. An employee that is not really performing well could come to me and ask me a question like, hey, Perry, when are we going to have a marketing team? Because I look at the big companies like Google and Facebook, they all have a marketing team and we don't have a marketing team. So you should improve. And to me, that's the epitome of the opposite of being a good employee, because there are so many things wrong with it. I never said these to the people, but this is what goes on the founder's mind. Number one, you almost assume that I never thought about that problem, which I spend more time thinking about the company than the employees. So maybe ask a more educated question, like, why do we not have a marketing team? Or like, when do you think we should have a marketing team? And what's the reason you don't have? Like, that's a better question than like, hey, we should have a marketing team. And second, which I never said to the people, is if you look at Anthropic and OpenAI and Tesla, their marketing team is literally like less than 3 people. You can do some online research on that. They are some of the biggest companies in the world, because there is often this reason to this madness on why they didn't do it. So that's number 2. The third is like, by asking that question, you demonstrate almost this lack of like maturity about how startups work. Startups work by being very deep on certain dimensions and use those to compensate for the lack of departments. So a startup is not like a one-to-one correspondence of every department. It's like they explicitly lack certain departments so that they can be really good with their limited resources on the departments they have. Number 4, the employee think about the short term, but the founders think long term, which is, I want to have a marketing team, but that marketing team will come later. Meaning that if the marketing happens now, it masks the problems that we have. It masks the lack of true product market fit. Won't it be better that when we achieve $10 or $20 million of ARR, the marketing then becomes the fuel to the fire that will help us continue to grow at 50% year over year? But if you add marketing too early, there's almost no value add to the startup later on. And marketing only works when you already have an amazing sales motion. So that's 4. And number 5, it almost presumes that there's a way of doing startup, which is like when you play a game like StarCraft, you can explore the entire map. That's one way. And that's equivalent of having every function of a typical company. Or you can be really, really good in the map that you already explore. If you focus too much on exploring the entire map, that doesn't lead itself to winning. In fact, if you use that strategy, you're almost guaranteed to lose. You don't have to explore the entire map to win. And so a lot of this kind of advice is based on not first principles, but based just on analogy, comparing ourselves with the big companies. So that's like so many reasons why we don't have a marketing team. And I bring this up because I did a mental simulation, because I mentioned in the beginning of the video about a good employee is someone that executes, works hard, and asks the right questions. So they did not ask the right question. If this person that came to me is amazingly high performing, like a true sales, highly performing salesperson, they're like, I'm trying to close this big deal, and they did not close because our blogs are not up to date and our UI is not professional and is not selling to the enterprise, and we need better marketing. And I will listen to that. So if the person is executing very well, I will listen to it. So a good employee, the prerequisite is someone that executes well. So I will share this document. I will read this out loud, and this is very true. Execution increases your stature and increases the weight of your opinions. When someone delivers results, their ideas will be given more weight, while someone who doesn't deliver will usually not be taken seriously. I don't necessarily think that's right, nor is it part of our company culture, but simply how organizational dynamics work. Don't fight against that dynamic, you will lose. So the advice I will have for the employees that work at startups is you do get judged for the questions you ask. And the prerequisite is be really, really good in what you do. And to be honest, we have some early employees. At that time, we didn't have sales, we didn't have marketing, we didn't have nothing, honestly. The best employees, they never once talked to me, Perry, we need this other department. They know it will come. And the worst employees, they're working on like department A and they keep talking about department B that doesn't exist yet. They're so good at finding the domain that's not part of their expertise. And they're doing an okay job on their own domain. And they think they know how to architect the whole company. That's when you know, like, don't do that as an employee. You might look at this video and be like, hey, this founder is super arrogant, da da da. If these employees end up executing well, they are amazing in the future. And even 6 months later, they keep saying that we need a marketing team. And you know what? I might flip my script. 6 months later, if they keep insisting on it and they are performing really well, I might even admit that I'm the dumb one. For better or for worse, the advice you give to the organization is literally correlated to how much social capital you have in the company, how well you are already in your own domain. So that's it. That's what makes a good employee. Execution. You might also say, that means I shouldn't speak my own mind. That's not true. Have you thought about the problem long and hard enough? And do you assume the subject that you're talking to is an intelligent person? And if you phrase the question in a way that's not intelligent, questions really reveal the depth of your understanding. I hope this is not too brutally honest. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.